What is up, everyone? Welcome to the FAA podcast. Happy draft week. It's great. I got my nice banner back here with the dates. Detroit 2024 draft logo. Um, yeah, we got to our final 10-team mock. The three teams picking in the second round and 25 through 32 as well. I got the UFL week 4 to get through. We have a trade that happened today. And the transfer portal is also popping off as well in college football right now. So, start off with UFL week 4. And it's a pretty decent weekend. Couple close games, low scoring as well in most of them. This one was not, however, the Battlehawks rolling on the Showboats 32-17 in the Dome. AJ McCarron was phenomenal once again. 35 of 45, 77.8%, 222, 3 touchdowns a pick, 4 carries for 23 yards, and a 2-point conversion. Case Cookus once again getting battered in this game. 8 of 12, 66.7%, just 55 yards and a touchdown and an interception and 2-point conversion. Troy Williams, second straight week, he came in for Cookus. 4 of 9, 44.4%, 37 yards. Jacob Sailors, 100-yard rusher in this one, 15 carries, 103 yards, 3 catches, 19 yards, a touchdown, and on 5 targets. The Battlehawks, the only team to have 100-yard ball carriers this season. They have 2 with Mateo Durant's week 2 performance as well. Darius Victor got in the end zone for the first time, as did Wayne Gallman this year. Ja'Cour Pearson, big boost to the Battlehawks offense. Pearson, an electric debut in the UFL, coming off injury. 10 catches, 70 yards, a touchdown on 10 targets. Also did fumble, the lone blemish on his really great first game in the UFL. Touchdowns also from Vinny Papali. He's back to lead, I believe, in touchdowns this year. In receiving touchdowns. Make sure. Yeah, he's tied for the lead with 3 receiving touchdowns this year. Him, Marcus Sims, who also leads the UFL in receiving, and Marcel Aitman for the Battlehawks as well. Those 2 also have 3 receiving scores. Defensively, wasn't a lot going on. I'm going to go with the top guy, though, on the losing side. Memphis safety Lamont McFadder, the second. 11 tackles, 8 of them solos, forced fumble and a fumble recovery. Jake Sutherland also with a touchdown there for St. Louis. Battlehawks covered easily, minus 6.5 over a 45.5. The regional broadcast, this one was delayed an hour and 20 minutes, I think it was. Stallions eke one out over the Defenders, 20-18 in Birmingham. Rainy night. And it ended up being the first play after the rain delay because it got stopped with 1:56 to go in the second quarter. They used that as halftime. They're going to play the 1:56, have like a commercial break, and then go play the second half. Kickoff. DC kicks off to Birmingham. The first play after the rain delay, Trey Berry snaps the ball wide right and high of Paxton Brooks, the punter for DC. Gets tackled in the end zone, and safety. And look what happens. We end up a 2-point game at the end. So, yeah, that's tough that play came back because it didn't seem like it was going to hurt DC because they kept it within 1 score for most of the third quarter and then, continued to play close and got the lead twice in the fourth quarter but couldn't put it away. Ramiz Ahmed, the the player of the game in this one. Signed on Tuesday, the former Packers kicker, 4 for 4, 46 long, hit that twice in the game, including the game winner with 3 seconds left. I think it was 4 seconds left, whatever it was. But yeah, tough for DC. They had the game. They weren't able to take advantage of Birmingham playing very poorly, especially early on. 2 red zone fumbles. They did get a field goal out of the first one. The second one, though, they punted. So, and it was also tough as that second fumble was returned for a touchdown, but the video review saw that Stallions running back CJ Marable just clipped Gary and Conley's hand with his hand while Conley's knee was down. And so, yeah, they brought it back. Matt Corral, though, got the start in a surprise. We were all questioning Skip Holtz's decision-making in that regard prior to the game, but ended up playing pretty well despite the rain, 19 to 29, 65.5%, 240, a touchdown, 7 carries, 51 yards, and a fumble. He was credited with the first fumble, I believe. Jordan Ta'amu, not the greatest, 12 of 22, 54.5%, 161, 2 touchdowns, but no turnovers. Again, pretty good there. 4 carries for 24 yards. Ricky Person Jr. led the game in rushing, 11 carries, 57 yards, 2 catches for 22 yards. And one big thing that the final stats don't show, but Cameron Harris led DC in rushing, 34 yards on 11 carries, fumble, and a 1-yard reception. But just 3.1 yards per carry ended up the numbers for Harris. But him and Zaquandre White, I was very happy with the defenders' offense. They were able to run the ball for the first time this year, finally. The line was getting some movement. So him and Zaquandre White looked really good. Hopefully they can continue that and pick up some more wins, as they've doubled their losses now from last year's regular season 9-1 team. Calvin Harmon led the game in receiving for DC, 5 catches, 93 yards, touchdown on 6 targets. He also blocked a punt, which was another one that DC was not able to take advantage of. I think I can't remember what the next drive for DC was for that, but I'm pretty sure they did not take advantage of that one either. Amari Rogers, touchdown for Birmingham. Chris Rowland to score for DC as well. And defensively, I got to go with the losing side once again. DC defensive end Derek Roberson, 6 tackles, 2 solos, 2 sacks, and a tackle for loss. Defenders, plus 7.5, cover easily. I get it at 9 early in the week, which was nice. Under 46.5. Brahmas, 19-9. Snoozer there in San Antonio. I think this one was. Quinn Dormady, the surprise of the weekend, I think. First game of action and lights out. 23 of 37, 62.2%, 269, touchdown and interception. He was very effective for the Brahmas. And there's the reason why I picked Michigan, just because I did not think that he was going to be enough to put the Brahmas over the top. I thought Michigan played very well last week, and they did not play very well this week. The Brahmas defense was very good. You lone wolfed this one, didn't you, Jimmy?
Yeah, I picked Brahmas.
Yeah. EJ Perry's got the start once again. He got dinged up, though. 7 of 13, 53.8%, 77 yards, 4 carries, 49 yards, and a fumble. Danny Etling came in. He was pretty solid. 11 of 14, 78.6%, 105, touchdown, a pick. 2 carries, 10 yards, and a fumble, though. But, again, the turnovers really killed Michigan all day. They had a red zone interception as well, which was that one from Etling. and could not penetrate the Brahmas defense most of the day. John Lovett led the game in rushing outside of Perry, 13 carries, 35 yards, touchdown, 3 catches for 9 yards there. Big day for San Antonio on offense, 200-yard receivers. Justin Smith, 7 for 107 on 8 targets. John Trey Kirkland continues to light it up, 5 for 105 on 8 targets. And then touchdowns coming from Marquez Stevenson on San Antonio. Marcus Sims mentioned he is tied for the lead in receiving touchdowns and leads the league now in receiving yards. Defensively, doesn't get much better than Jordan Mosley. For San Antonio, the safety, 5 tackles, 3 solos, pick, pass deflection, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Kai Nakua, though, Puka's brother, dude, he is lighting it up as well for Michigan defensively. He is playing himself into an NFL contract for sure. Pick and 2 pass deflections in this one. Back-to-back weeks for Kai Nakua with interception. Brahmas plus 1.5 win outright under 41.5. Yeah, I picked Michigan minus 1.5. That was a great time. Yesterday, the Roughnecks beating the Renegades, the battle of winless teams. Houston is winless no more, 17-9 win over the Renegades. The XFL champions now 0-4. Bob Stoops in some hot water down there in Arlington. But Reed Sinnett, he looks pretty good, 18-28, 64.3%, 191, a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, no turnovers. Love to see that. Luis Perez struggled. The Houston defense was just eating him up most of the day. 15 of 28, 53.6%, 144, touchdown, a pick, and a fumble. Lindsey Scott also completed his only pass for 21 yards. But the big story for Houston offensively, Mark Thompson made his debut, his return to the team. 9 carries, 34 yards, so not great, 3.8 yards per carry. But he scored, and he had a 5-yard reception. I assume he's going to get more and more touches as the season goes on because he won the USFL Offensive Player of the Year last year for the Houston Gamblers. And this guy is electric. He can run and catch. Completely changes the running game for Houston and the offense overall with him threatening on the ground. Houston wide receiver Cyril Grayson led the game in receiving, 3 catches, 62 yards on 3 targets. You had touchdowns from Houston wide receiver Emmanuel Butler and Arlington wide receiver Deontay Burnett. Defensively, how about another loser getting my defensive player of the game? Arlington defensive tackle Jalen Redmond, 3 tackles, all of them solos, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss. The big man up front, they were talking about him all game. He was a monster. Just wasn't enough for the Renegades to get the win. Keandre Thomas also, though, a very good game, a pick and 2 tackles for loss. It was his first game of the season as well. Hadn't played yet and got the start on the outside and played very well. The Roughnecks plus 3 win outright under 45.5. And yeah, I stupidly took the over at 46.5. These were the 2 worst defenses in terms of points per game allowed. So I figured the offenses should have been able to do something against both defenses, but neither offense was able to really light it up. All right, breaking news. We do have breaking news this time. It's the trade. Once again, we have another 2021 quarterback getting traded. Only one remains from the top 15 picks, of which there were 5 quarterbacks, I believe it was, picked in the 2021 draft class. Zach Wilson headed to Denver. He, along with a 2024 7th-round pick, number 256, compensatory selection, Goes to Denver for a 2024 sixth, number 203. That was the pick the Broncos got from Cleveland in the Jerry Jeudy trade, I believe. One of the two picks. Anyways, I don't remember what it was. But yeah. So the Broncos just became a little more interesting.
My guess is that they're a little less confident in their ability to trade up for a top flight QB than they were previously. This definitely seems like a trade where they're going, all right, I got to hedge my bets because I'm not confident in my ability to move up for a guy like McCarthy or May. You still have the chance that Bo Nix fall to you, which I still think if he's there at 12, there's a good argument to take him or trade back and still get him in like 15, 16, like I did in the mock draft today. But yeah, I mean, I look at this trade for Denver. I'm like, okay, maybe they're thinking they're not confident in their ability to get a top flight QB, so they just need a young QB that could have maybe a positive upside because of a change in location. But that's all I can think about.
Yeah, I don't think this precludes Denver. That was the big question. Is all right. Well, does this mean that Denver is out of the quarterbacks? I don't think so.
Like I said, I don't think this is them out on a guy like Bo Nix. I think this might mean we might be out on trading up for a guy.
See, yeah, I didn't think Denver was ever a threat to trade up. They don't have the capital to do it.
Yeah, the only two teams that I could see trading up for a QB are the Minnesota Vikings and Oakland Raiders.
Las Vegas.
Oh, Las Vegas Raiders. Sorry. At least I'm not calling them the Giants. But yeah, I mean, I think you look at Denver, like you don't have enough to get top flight. I think the best case scenario for Denver is trading back and still getting Bo Nix, and I think that's very possible.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see because based off of Schefter's draft notebook that I read this morning, it's the quarterbacks are pushing up like they usually do, and he said he had a source that said wouldn't be surprised if Penix goes to as high as 8 to Atlanta. So what that means for Bo Nix, I don't know. Also, as part of this deal, the teams are splitting Wilson's salary, $2.75 million paid by the Jets. So helping Denver out there on the cap wise. All right, transfer portal. Kent State defense tackle CJ West, popular prospect there. He has visits scheduled with LSU, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Indiana. Also involved are Texas A&M, Rutgers, and Florida State. So busy time for CJ West, as I expected. He's one of the bigger names in the portal. If you need interior defensive line help, make sure you're calling him. Miami, Ohio kicker Graham Nicholson, the reigning Lou Groza Award winner for best kicker in the country. He has committed to Alabama. Kalen DeBoer gets a big transfer to replace Will Reichard, who's leaving for the draft. So yeah, the rich keep getting richer, man. Penn State wide receiver Keandre Lambert-Smith, couple visits scheduled, USC, Auburn, and Texas A&M. Arizona State wide receiver Elijah Badger, he is in the portal. And Elijah, I'm just going to tell you, you need to come north. Your name says it all. You have to be a Wisconsin Badger, man. Your last name is Badger. You should have committed to Wisconsin to begin with. Now make it right and go to Wisconsin. Badger playing for the Badgers. Makes too much sense.
Works out.
Georgia running back Andrew Paul. He visited Michigan State. Louisville running back Penny Boone. He is also a busy player right now. Teams interested in him. Georgia, Louisville continuing to recruit him, try to make him come back to Louisville, where he transferred initially this offseason from Toledo. Ole Miss, Miami, Washington, Arizona, Colorado, Utah, and Kentucky all in on Penny Boone right now. So he has a big decision to make coming up. Would love to see Penny Boone in red and black. Just saying. Missouri State wide receiver Raylan Sharp, over 900 yards last year for the Bears, visited Iowa. Oregon State running back Damian Martinez, he visited with Miami. Miami quarterback Ja'Cory Brown, he is visiting UCF. Michigan State wide receiver Antonio Gates Jr., he is in the portal. Not a lot of involvement his true freshman season last year at MSU, so looking to build off that sophomore year. Antonio Gates' his son. Miami running back Henry Parrish, he's going home. He has committed to Ole Miss. Originally started at Ole Miss and transferred to Miami for the 2023 season. Now going back to Lane Kiffin in Mississippi. Arizona defense tackle Bill Norton, he has committed to Texas. So big get by Coach Sarkisian there. Excellent player out of Arizona. Will help fill that void left by a pretty big void left by Tavondre Sweat and a less big void filled from left by Byron Murphy. A couple quarterbacks in the portal as well. Mississippi State quarterback Mike Wright, originally transferred last season from Vanderbilt to Mississippi State. He is back in the portal, as is Nevada quarterback Shane Illingworth, the former Oklahoma State quarterback, also looking for his third school. And also, one thing I got on the X feed here, Ohio State running back Dallin Hayden. He has committed to none other than Coach Prime in Colorado. So Hayden, an excellent running back freshman year last year, and going to be able to play with Shore out there in Colorado. NFL news. The NFL is going to resolve the Falcons and Eagles tampering investigation soon. I say possibly. I think it's probably going to be prior to the draft. I think they want to penalize these teams now and not have to wait to penalize them till the 2025 draft. So we'll see what that looks like. But the Falcons especially are predicted to get a harsher penalty than the Eagles because Kirk Cousins came out pretty much and admitted it during his press conference.
So if the 8th overall pick, the Vikings now have 3 first-round picks, is what you're telling me.
That's not how that works.
No, more than likely, if they do anything with the first-round pick, it'll just be forfeit.
Yes.
So the Vikings will have the 10th overall pick. Not bad.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting because that's a pretty high pick to forfeit. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the NFL really cares about that, but I would think so. I would think so. I would say their second round pick. I don't know what the Eagles will be.
Probably a day 3 pick.
That's the hope. We don't have that many picks, but how about the Broncos? Unlike the Jets, when they've said new uniforms, the Broncos actually do have new uniforms that they released today. And I'm a big fan. I kind of like them. However, I will say my first thought was, did they just steal UTSA's uniforms? Because especially this picture, they look like UTSA.
Man, yeah, it looks too obvious. I think I like them. I like that they're kind of going back to the new color. I never liked the like white color, like colors under the arms. My only problem is the sleeve. It kind of just looks like yellow, and it just kind of looks like Chargers. Like I wish they kind of just did that. The picture in the middle, the Denver throwback, which I hear they're bringing back. I wish it just did that sleeve. Just
Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's the new throwback.
it's the new throwback. I wish they did that sleeve on the other three jerseys. I'm not a huge fan of that. Like,
yeah, Pat Surtain released that in the video with Randy Gradishar.
those are beautiful, by the way. I love those throwbacks.
That's clean. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm a fan of the new jerseys. I'm not a huge fan of the sleeve cap. It's just too chargery.
It's the peak. It's the peak of the mountain.
It looks like the Chargers. It really just does look like the Chargers.
But yeah, the another interesting thing is the little triangles.
Yeah, I saw those
triangles on the numbers.
I like that. I like the small detail.
And these ones, which you can't see, they're under the arms on the side. It's for representing their 3 Super Bowl championships.
Oh, so if they get another one in the next like 5 years, do they have to add another one, or do they have to wait until they can redo their jerseys?
They'll just cut it out. Also, I did not know what that number meant initially. I don't remember where it's. I think it's on the orange one. I don't know where it is. Oh, right here. Yeah, the number on the inseam of the neck.
Mm-hmm. Mile high.
280. Yeah, that's the elevation above sea level for Denver. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I love the details.
Also, this one, the little triangle with the plus sign, is because that's what markers on are, I guess, on the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan. I like the details. I like that it kind of is going back to like the old fashioned look. Looks more like the early John Elway jerseys. Again, the only problem I really have is the sleeve cap. I wish it was just more plain. I don't like the jagged. I get
up close and personal.
I don't like.
You're not even gonna notice it.
I'm noticing it now, man.
You're not even gonna notice it.
But yeah, I'm a fan. I think they're very solid.
And apparently they have 9 different like combos.
Ooh.
As a part of this. So you see 3 there. So I'm assuming you got all white, you got orange and blue, you got blue and white.
Do you think they also going to bring in orange pants?
No. The orange pants are not. No.
They're retiring the orange pants.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
So yeah, white. Yeah. So that, or no, that would only be 6, I guess. Because you got 3 here. You got white.
Yeah.
Orange,
three tops.
Orange, pants, blue, and blue, white. They said 9 though.
Well, you got the helmet. I think that the 2 helmets, that's what's making it 9.
True. Yeah, because you have 2 helmets, white and blue.
Mm.
I don't know about all white though. I don't know about that. I'm okay with the white jersey, white pants together, but putting a white helmet with that, not a fan. I think you would have to put the blue pants with the white jersey, and then I would be okay with the white helmet.
Yeah.
Once again, giving fashion advice. Love it.
That's what we are.
How about Matt Ryan? He is officially retired off the CBS, where he was last year anyways. But yeah, didn't play last season, but pretty good career. He had a tough time though, not just because he's played in Atlanta, but because of who he played in the same era as Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. So that's why I think Matt Ryan will eventually be a Hall of Famer, but it's just going to take a little bit because he had all those other better players playing at the same time, and that's why he doesn't have the accolades.
And I think the stain of the Super Bowl loss is going to follow him everywhere, and voters sadly are going to take that into account, even though it's not his fault. He ran the offense as asked, but that's always going to be memed to death, and he's not. It's just something you can't really shake off.
The Falcons 2008 first round pick number 3 overall. Played with Atlanta his entire career pretty much, 08 to 2021. Colts in 2022. One-time NFC champ, one-time MVP. He won an Offensive Player of the Year. All those came in 2016, which was also the only first-team All-Pro he had. 2008 Offensive Rookie of the Year, 4-time Pro Bowler as well. In the regular season, 234 games, all of them starts, 65.6% completion, 62,792 yards, 381 touchdowns, 183 interceptions, 514 carries, 1,539 rushing yards, 13 rushing touchdowns. He also has a 5-yard receiving touchdown as well in his career. That came in 2018. 104 fumbles as well. In the playoffs, started all 10 of his games played, 67.5% completion, 2,672 yards, 20 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and 1 rushing touchdown. I don't know where he ranks all time in those numbers, but throwing for over 62,500 yards and 380 touchdowns is pretty good.
Pretty solid.
And I mean, the playoff numbers were also very, very good. Averaging 267 yards per game and 2 touchdowns. That can get you some wins. A release this week. The Commanders, they released defensive end Shaka Toney, so not very long-lived comeback for Shaka after he was reinstated this week from his gambling suspension. It's just kind of weird, though. Like, if you're going to release him, like, why didn't you release him when he got suspended like all the other players that happened to?
Dude, don't ask me.
Like, they just wanted to burn him.
They're just mean.
Re-signing the Texans, they re-signed running back Dare Ogunbowale to a 1-year deal. Of course, last year kicked an extra point and a field goal, I believe, which was very cool. And the signings, the Broncos, they signed Steelers corner Levi Wallace to a 1-year deal. I don't think that's official yet, but there was an expectation that he would sign a 1-year contract with Denver after he visited. All right. Let's get to the mock draft. Picks number 25 to 32. Panthers, Texans, and Browns as well. Packers at 25. Bucks at 26. Bills at 28. Lions 29. Ravens at 30. 49ers 31. Chiefs at 32. Panthers at 33. Texans at 42. And the Browns, I have to check because I forget. I think they are 53. 54. Man, I was so close.
Almost.
All right. I already got it loaded up here. Get into the mock draft machine, which still is not as good as what the Draft Network used to put out, but RIP Draft Network. All right. Caleb Williams.
Drake May.
Got Dang
Whoa.
it. They figured it out. Drake May.
There's Drake May.
Wow, they fixed
Marvin Harrison Jr. There we go. Joe Alt.
No.
Oh, never mind. Roma Dunze. Yeah.
Dunze.
Here's Joe Alt.
Yeah.
There we go.
Dawkins getting Dallas Turner. Or Latu. Okay.
Dallas Turner here. Yeah.
Dallas Turner. Jets.
Brock Bowers.
Quinyon Mitchell. Brock Bowers. Yeah. Vikings.
Why does it keep happening, man? We don't have
McCarthy for the Broncos. Taliswaga for the Raiders. Troy Faltanu for the Saints. Colts going Olu Fashanu. Seahawks going Byron Murphy. Jags getting Jared Verse. Bengals, Cooper DeJean. Rams, Jerzon Newton.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Steelers get Tyrion Arnold. Dolphins going Amarius Mims. Eagles get Graham Barton. Vikings go Adonai Mitchell.
What is going on?
And Darnold's got weapons, man.
Darnold's got all the weapons.
Brian Thomas to the Cowboys. All right, so Packers on the clock here, and it sets up well for us. Tackle is my second need, so I think we just go ahead and hit it real quick, right?
J.C. Latham makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, they need to replace David Bakhtiari, not Brian Bulaga. Brian Bulaga left a while ago.
Yeah. Could still replace him.
David Bakhtiari. They're both Bean last names. All right, the Bucks. The Bucks, it's not great that Graham Barton went already. Interior O-line is the number one thing I have on my board. But it's fine because we do have an interior lineman available. Jax Powers-Johnson would be a great replacement for Ryan Jensen, who retired.
That'd be a great
center. So it's either him. We have a couple corners as well, which is my second need. Nate Wiggins, Kool-Aid McKinstry available.
But I think that's something you can get in the second round. I think JPJ is like the last really good center prospect left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would do that, and maybe at 57 go corner.
Alrighty. Cardinals. Who they got? Wide receiver? Troy Franklin. Yep.
2 wide receivers.
Yeah, why not? Kyler needs help.
All right, Bills.
Well, this sucks.
Yeah, with Brian Thomas Jr. and Adonai Mitchell gone,
it's fine.
I don't love taking Ladd McConkey here.
I do. I'm okay with him in the first round. However, I do agree with you, though, by not taking him right here because of how the board has fallen. I think we need to go Nate Wiggins. That's more of a value, and that's my second need for them.
Yeah, and kind of similar situation to Bucks. You can get wide receiver with 60 because this is a pretty decent wide receiver class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Detroit here. Edge. Do we have any edge? We do not. But
you could risk and go Chop.
Well, yeah. I mean, I am perfectly fine with going Chop.
I would go either Chop or Darius Robinson here.
I think both are going to be first-round picks. I know I think it was a tweet from Peter Schrager today that said about those two guys were in the late first, early second category, which is where we're at. So I think it's Chop. Both of the Penn State guys, like I said in Mock Draft Monday show when I had Washington taking Adisa Isaac, both of these guys super quick. I think I remember texting you maybe during the season, or maybe it was someone else when I was watching a Penn State game, and I was like, dude, Chop's get off is ridiculous. So I think he brings the speed element to Aiden Hutchins' power. And I think I like Chop to Detroit.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense.
Especially, the value is Kool-Aid, but with them getting Carlton Davis in free agency, they don't really have a need at corner anymore.
Yeah.
Or in a trade, I should say, not free agency. The Ravens do have a need at corner, which is my number one need. So I'm running this card up if I'm Baltimore.
Yeah, you could make an argument for McConkey, but I think Kool-Aid makes more sense here.
All right, 49ers. I have interior O-line corner. So you could go. It's an interesting one.
I kind of like Guyton here.
Yeah. Let me just remind myself on who San Fran has inside here. Yeah, so they need center. They need. I want to upgrade over Jake Brendel at center there. I understand the tackle thing that you can probably upgrade McKivitz at right while getting your future left tackle when Trent Williams retires. So I mean, it is what it. I have, like I said, I have interior line as the number one need. But again, the needs that I have are not future forward looking. They're what they need now.
Because they're still wanting to compete.
Yeah,
they're not going to wait.
So it's tough. It's tough because I really like Zach Frazier, but and there's no corners really here. Linebacker is actually my third need, so Peyton Wilson would be awesome.
Pretty good value.
But yeah, I mean, I'm perfect. Tackle's my fourth need for San Fran, and I think with the position being that Guyton and Morgan are really the last two top guys, I think I'm okay with going Guyton.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
And the Chiefs, so it's wide receiver and it's tackle. So you're in kind of the same conundrum.
Yeah.
Because you need both. The Chiefs, I mean, they have guys at tackle, I'll say.
They have bodies.
They have people there. But like, dude, like Wanya Morris is starting at left tackle right now. Jawan Taylor's a penalty machine at right. So again, it's like, well, you know, we got 64. We can get a wide receiver there. I think you have to take the last tackle, the last good tackle.
Yeah, and I think with the Rashee Rice news, I think it would make sense to go Vlad McConkey here, but the problem is the argument against that is for the last two seasons, Patrick Mahomes has made more with less at the wide receiver position. The problem is you just can't have this guy scrambling for his life 3 years in a row. You got to protect the guy. And I think Jordan Morgan for the long term of Patrick Mahomes is better than getting another wide receiver. Because, again, what happens if, the Rashee Rice thing gets figured out? He doesn't have anything more than like a half-season suspension, and now, now you have more offensive line trouble, and you filled you created a desperate need that didn't actually turn out to be desperate.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they don't have anything. Like they do have Hollywood that they signed, so
and you still have the safety blanket of Travis Kelce.
And like I said on the Mock Monday, like teams like Tyler Boyd is the safety blanket for every receiver needy team right now.
Yeah.
Like they're waiting till after the draft to have a frenzy on Tyler Boyd to see which team actually needs a wide receiver. So I think with him available still, that's another security blanket that he can be like, okay, like we can get wide receivers somewhere else. Well, this works out well for the Panthers because we're going to take Glad McConkey.
Oh man, the Panther fans set that up. Couldn't see that coming. But no, I mean, I like McConkey. I've never been a fan of him going late first. I think he's more early second than anything else. And pairing up with Bryce Young makes a ton of sense. I like Lad here.
Yeah, the only thing I will say about against taking Lad McConkey is that I would like a bigger body that is more of an outside guy. Now Lad can play out there because Deontay is a slot, and I think he's kind of the same thing as Lad McConkey. But yeah, I think just the talent wise, he's the best receiver on the board right now.
Okay.
Zach Frazier would have also been in consideration.
That'd be an interesting pick.
Mike Sanderstill for the Pats, Peyton Wilson, the Cards, Adisa Isaac, Commanders, Keon Coleman. Dang, bro, maybe we could have got both.
Could have.
For the Chargers, Tyler Nubin for the Titans.
Is Zach Frazier still there?
Makes sense. Yes, Zach Frazier's available. It also is so this pick's going to come down to Jatavian Sanders, Enos Rakestraw, or Zach Frazier.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it has to be Zach Frazier.
I mean,
to help Bryce protect him in the middle.
Yeah, Bryce was running for his life all last season, and he did not have good interior blocking to let him throw over the middle. You have to get someone, and Zach Frazier makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, adding him to the two big boys that they added at guard this offseason. Solid trio inside. Commanders, they are going Ricky Pearsall. Hey, look, they took Adisa Isaac like I did. All right, Packers back on the board. So we got a tackle. We got J.C. Latham in the first round. And so I got, dang, Tyler Nubin's gone. That's who I wanted to get. Safety, linebacker.
You could go Bullard.
Interior line depth, running back. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's probably where we're going to go.
Yeah, I would either do Fisk or Bullard. I don't. Ooh, Pittsburgh coming up. Who would Pittsburgh want?
10 picks a lot, and we already have 4 picks left.
I would say
Rakestraw as well.
I would say you could pass on Bullard because there's that safety from Washington State that you could get later.
Jaden Hicks.
So you could always wait, or you could go TJ Tampa here. God knows he's been falling a little bit.
Yeah. I'm okay with whatever.
Me too. I think
they shock everyone and take Jonathan Brooks.
No, I think you could get him at, at 58 if you wanted to get him at 58.
No, because the Cowboys pick at 56.
Oh, that would make it difficult.
But
again, I don't see running back as the biggest need on the planet for them.
No.
I like Tampa. I like Bullard. I think Tampa or Bullard would be my pick.
Yeah, let's go TJ Tampa.
Tampa's a good one. Houston.
Right. First pick for the Texans here. And they also need corner is my first need for them. So Rakestraw.
No argument there. Rakestraw makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, they're a team that really, when you look on their depth chart, there's not a lot of holes.
Yeah, they're good.
Especially what they did this all season. The Falcons get Jalen Polk. Raiders going Bo Nix.
There's the Bo Nix pick.
Not a big fan of that one. Roman Wilson to the Saints. Javon Bullard to the Colts. Well, there he goes. Braden Fisk, the Giants.
Well, there he goes.
Jags to get Jatavian Sanders. Bengals go Darius Robinson. Eagles getting Xavier Leggett.
Ooh.
Steelers go Kieran Amagaji. Michael Penix to the Rams. All right.
I've seen that.
Oh,
there's
Jaden Hicks. My Eagles got him.
All right, we got the Browns here.
Yeah. They need corner. Corner and edge.
I mean, Raswell or Lassiter, I like either of those guys here.
Yeah, I think Kamari Lassiter. It seems like we always fall into this hole where these corners, like we need to push them up because we need corners. Literally, dude, there's so many teams I have corner as the number one need.
Yeah.
Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Houston, Jacksonville, Las Vegas, Giants, Eagles, Steelers. All have corner as my number one need. So.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll go with Lassiter.
Yeah. Let's go Lassiter.
Dolphins going Roswell. Cowboys get Jonathan Brooks.
We saw it coming.
As expected. All right, the Bucks back on the clock here. So we got JPJ in round one. And what do you know? Corner is my second need for Tampa.
Oh, man. Look at that. There's Drew Phillips.
Drew Phillips could be a possibility here. And I think he will get in the second round, early third. Otherwise, wide receiver, running back, edge for Tampa here. So Malachi Corley, I think, would make a ton of sense for Tampa.
Marshawn Nealon can make sense as well, or Jonah Ellis.
Yeah. I think I like Corley. Yeah, I think I like Corley out of those guys.
I would rather do if I was in charge, I would rather do edge. I think outside D lineman is a bigger need for Tampa than a wide receiver right now. So I like Nealon. I think he'd be a pretty solid guy here.
I don't like him, not for Tampa. Tampa runs a 3-4. Jonah Ellis would be the player. Nealon's too big. Nealon's 275.
Ooh,
I don't think he's going to be able to stand up and play outside linebacker.
Well, in that case, I would take Ellis here. I think edge is just a bigger need than wide receiver at this moment.
Okay. Packers back on the clock. So yeah, we still need safety and linebacker. All right, Edgerrin Cooper. I'm in.
Yeah, I like Edgerrin Cooper. You could go Jalen Wright out of Tennessee since you mentioned they need a running back, but I think Cooper is a bigger need.
Yeah, running back is my fifth need for Green Bay. All right, Houston here. So we got them a corner. Got Rakestraw. They also, my second need for them is linebacker, so that sucks. But yeah, I have again not very many needs. I thought corner, linebacker, tight end 2, running back 3, and interior D line. So let's go, Chris Jenkins.
That's what I was gonna say. Just for the depth purposes and best player available, it's just like, just get Chris Jenkins.
Yeah,
got some depth.
All right, Buffalo on the clock, and we got them a corner and Nate Wiggins in the first round.
And
we need a wide receiver. Yes, it is Malachi Corley.
That makes so much sense here.
Works well.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit. You got edge in the first round, right?
Yeah, I think we did defense.
Yeah, Chop Robinson. So, Once again, it sucks that we took the player right in front of us because I had wide receiver as the number 2 need. But it's okay. It's okay because my number 3 need for them. Actually, no.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, whoa, Xavier Worthy, take him.
Why is he down here, dude?
I never know. I think it's PFF's not a big fan of him.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's okay because we have Christian Haynes available, and that would have been the pick. But yeah, well, that should have been Buffalo's pick.
I think he'd be okay with Corley, though.
Xavier Worthy should be top second round, maybe even first.
Baltimore.
So the Ravens, we got Kool-Aid, and I have wide receiver, right tackle, edge. All right. Well, Kingsley Suamataia makes a ton of sense, I think, here.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because there's not any wide receivers now. San Fran.
We went Guyton, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so now we have some options for San Francisco now. So Haynes, definitely interior line. I mentioned they need center help. But we also have Drew Phillips. Corner is my second need for them. So it just depends on which one we want to go here.
I think I would rather do Phillips. I do like Haynes, but getting Guyton kind of offsets the need to go back-to-back offensive line. Sure, one guy's interior, one guy's on the tackle position.
I was going to say.
But yeah, I mean, we've seen before in the league where guys transition inside as the career goes on, so who knows?
Not from tackle to center.
That's true. But still, I like Drew Phillips here. I prefer Drew Phillips over Haynes. And I think if you're the 49ers, there's some pretty decent guards later that you can
need guards. They need centers.
No, guys that you convert to centers. You could get Van Fran at 94.
If he's there.
If he's there. Or you could trade up. But I would do Drew Phillips here, cross fingers, and hope, Cedric Van Fran falls to 94, and I'd run with that.
Where to standoff, Jimmy?
I got my guns out.
I would rather take the protection for Brock Purdy.
I don't know any cornerbacks that would be there at 94 that'd be worth taking, though.
You're going to have guys like Renardo Green, Kalen Carson, Jarvis Brownlee.
They don't move the needle for me. I would rather see Drew Phillips and hope you can get Cedric Van Pran.
Whatever.
All right.
I'm just a guy.
I'm just a guy. I'm just a Bill.
I'm just a guy that has needs written down. All right. Wait, now we need to get a wide receiver, which we don't have. The wide receivers, yeah, okay. So we do have some.
There's some pretty good ones.
Jermaine Burton. I'm good with Jermaine Burton.
Me too. I like Burton here.
The only thing with the wide receiver pick, I think the Chiefs really wanted more of a downfield threat, which, I mean, Jermaine Burton has caught some go balls he did from Jalen Milroe last year, but Tez Walker, Javon Baker are really the speedsters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Kansas City is anywhere close to drafting Tez Walker, though, considering his drop issues throughout his career.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs saw enough drops last year.
Yeah. Don't want to run it back. So I like Burton.
All right. So the Panthers, we got center. We got wide receiver. So I have tight end and corner. And see, Jimmy, like Drew Phillips was going to be here. bro.
I'm not going to let you just make this draft the I want Carolina Panthers to have the best outcome possible draft. I'm going to make you work.
So in terms of tight end, Ben Sinnott is a guy that I think is available here. I don't know what they're doing with their tight end rankings. They're all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Ben Sinnott would be a guy that I'd look at. And then Max Melton was the guy at corner that I like right here as well. We do have 2 trade possibilities, which I would I think I'm going to do the Lions. I think, the Panthers have 7 picks. They need to get as many darts to be able to throw at the board available. So I think 8 spots is decent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's pretty solid.
I'd take that if I were the Panthers.
Yeah. Plus, we get capital for next year, even though we don't have a second round pick. But
all right. Hey, we're on with the Lions.
Yeah. So that's the one thing that we didn't look at. But
hey, get Christian Haynes.
Is that it was our pick, but so we got Xavier Worthy and we got Chop Robinson, and yeah, it would be Christian Haynes. That's the pick. They don't have a big need at guard anymore since they signed Kevin Zeitler, but still need depth and injury insurance. So yeah, Haynes is a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Card's gonna go Max Melton. Damn.
Open need fall.
Blake Corum for the Commanders. Brendan Dorless for the Pats. Chargers going Jalen Wright.
Mm.
Giants go Blake Fisher. Cardinals getting Rukorohoro. And the Jets go Johnny Wilson.
Mm.
So now we're on the Panthers. We got some extra picks. And it's pretty much the same thing, except Max Melton's gone now. And Kyrie Jackson would be the guy. So I think in that case, I am going to go Ben Sinnott.
All right.
I was in a bind when it was Sinnott versus Melton, but I think Sinnott's better than having Kyrie Jackson.
All right. We'll go for it.
Falcons get Marshawn Nealand. Javon Baker for the Bears.
That's a pretty good pick in the 3rd round for them.
Junior Colson to the Broncos. Trey Benson for the Raiders. Brandon Coleman for the Commanders. Falcons getting Spencer Rattler. There you go.
I've seen Spencer Rattler a lot to the Falcons.
Bucky Irving for the Bengals. Xavier Thomas to the Seahawks. Jalex Hunt. Colts. Roger Rosengarten for the Rams. Devontae Walker for the Steelers.
Mm.
And so we are in with the Browns once again. What do we get for Cleveland?
I think we got corner. We got Lassiter last time. And we were thinking it was either going to be Lassiter or Braswell, so we might be looking edge here.
Yeah, that's my next need for Cleveland. And it's Austin Booker. Austin Booker's probably the guy. What else we got, though? Wide receiver, running back as well. This is interesting. So Jalen McMillan. Okay, so it's down to 3 guys for me.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Booker for the edge, Jalen McMillan for the wide receiver, Marshawn Lloyd for the running back.
Interesting. I'm going to throw my vote to Austin Booker. I think I do like McMillan, but the only thing I have is just the only problem I have with that is the signing of Jerry Jeudy. You still have Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore. I think you could go depth, but I think you could still do depth later. And I like not Kyrie Jackson, Marshawn Lloyd. Kind of similar situation. They brought back Kareem Hunt and he played well. I doubt they're gonna. I don't think they re-signed him, but I'm
No.
assuming Chubb's gonna come back healthy and still be the player that people expect
Well,
him to be.
yeah, that's why Cleveland is in the running back for them, because they are scared of Chubb not being back at the beginning of the year,
Hmm.
or having to ramp up. But I mean, they do have a laundry list of running backs. Jerome Ford, they signed Naheem Hines, they signed Deontay Foreman. You got Pierre Strong as well, John Kelly.
Yeah. So I think they're fine there with or without Chubb coming back to 100%.
Yeah, and the wide receiver thing for me was, I think Amari's a free agent next year.
Hmm.
Um, and their picks that they've made recently just haven't really been great. Cedric Tillman, David Bell are the two I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Back to back years of third round selections. Bell in 22 and Tillman in 23. They got Prochet as well.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, the edge is not the greatest behind Z and Miles Garrett, Alex Wright. So yeah, fine with that. He's a little light for a 4-3 DN, but
Hmm.
just add about 20 pounds and I'll be good.
Yeah, I got to get going. I got to go to class. So
All right, man.
have fun. Get Cedric Van Pran for the 49ers so I get proven right.
All right. See ya. The Texans are on the clock here once again. And so we got a corner. We got a corner for them, Enos Rakestraw. And we got Chris Jenkins for the interior D line for Houston. So I have linebacker as my next need for them. So I don't see any. Let's just make sure. See if there is, like, I would be okay with Jeremiah Trotter going right here. Is there anything else? Tight end 2, RB3, interior D line. We already filled the interior D line. So I think I'm just going to roll with Jeremiah Trotter here. A little bit above his ADP, but I think that's a really solid pick for Houston if they can get Trotter. The Cowboys, they're going to pick Renardo Green. Okay, so we got the Packers back up here, and we still have yet to get a safety for Green Bay. We got Edgerrin Cooper, we got TJ Tampa, and we got JC Latham in tow. So perfect. The board sets up for us. Safety is finally here, and it is Kalen Bullock for Green Bay. The Bucks on the clock again. Interior O line. We already got that. We got Jonah Ellis in the first, and then we got Jonah Ellis in the second. We got JPJ in the first. That's right. So for Tampa, I have corner and wide receiver, running back here. So it's a tough decision. So we got Kyrie Jackson, Jalen McMillan. I think corner is the more pressing need, hence why I have it above wide receiver. So I think you have to go with Kyrie Jackson. I think Jalen McMillan's a better player, but there are other wide receivers you can get. So Kyrie Jackson is my pick here for Tampa. The Cardinals, they're going to go Ray Davis. And we're back on the clock with the Packers. This is the Rasul Douglas selection here. So we got a safety, we got a tackle, we got a linebacker. So I have interior O line depth and then running back. So we have Cooper Beebe. I think that'd be a great selection. However, the Packers need more center than guard, even though I believe that BB could play center. Van Pran is also here, so that would be a pretty solid option. Marshawn Lloyd would be the running back selection that I'm talking about. But I think I'm going to go Van Pran. I think that makes a lot more sense than the running back considering what they have currently. All right, the Bucks once again on the clock. So wide receiver, Jalen McMillan's still there. Look at that. It makes a lot of sense. I think we get him and snatch him up pretty quickly. The Ravens, so we got Kool-Aid in the first. And then in the second, we got the right tackle, Kingsley Suamataia. So let's get a wide receiver for Lamar. That's my second need that we haven't filled yet. So let's just go to the top of the board, I think. Let's go Malik Washington. I like him a lot. A lot of hype behind his names right now as well. 49ers, well, Jimmy, we did not draft the center that you wanted. We got Andrew Phillips in the second for San Fran. In the first, we got Tyler Guyton. So I still have interior O-line, edge, or interior O-line, linebacker, and tight end as the needs here for San Francisco. So yeah, it's tough. It would be tough to pick the guards. Not a big fan of the guards here. They have Aaron Banks, who they drafted in the second round in 2021. They have John Feliciano, Spencer Burford as well. Yeah, I guess we could go guard. I think Cooper Beebe makes a ton of sense. Eric All would also be a guy I like to San Francisco here, considering there's not really any linebackers. So yeah, I think let's go Cooper Beebe to San Fran. Back on with the Chiefs. So we got our wide receiver, we got our tackle, we got Jermaine Burton, and we got Jordan Morgan. So what else does Kansas City need? Well, they could also use another wide receiver probably. But they also need a corner, edge, and linebacker. And plus, there's not any really wide receivers here anyways. So give me Braylon Trice, I think, for Kansas City. Get them an edge rush, help George Karlaftis out. And we have no more picks. The Jags, they're going Javon Solomon. The Bengals are going to go Michael Hall. Steelers getting Patrick Paul. The Rams going Marshawn Lloyd. And the Commanders, we will see. The Commanders went Kalen Carson, the last pick. Got some more awards. Mock day two in a row here. So yeah, this is our first round. Anyways, we went starting off with the Packers. There we got J.C. Latham at 25, Jackson Powers Johnson to the Bucks at 26. Nate Wiggins to the Bills at 28. Chop Robinson for the Lions at 29. Kool-Aid McKinstry to the Ravens at 30. Tyler Guyton to the 49ers at 31. And then Jordan Morgan to the Chiefs at 32. And then the three teams we had without first-round picks, the Panthers went Ladd McConkey at 33. Texans with their first pick go Enos Rakestraw at 42. And the Browns go Kamari Lassiter at 54. So I think it was a pretty solid draft for most of the teams. I really liked the Panthers. I'll say that, getting Zach Frazier, Ladd McConkey in the second round. And then I kind of had to pivot to Ben Sinnott in the third. But there was another team, though, the Bucks, I think, kind of their needs just kind of fell right where I wanted them. With Jackson Powers-Johnson in the first, we got Jonah Ellis in the second, and then with the 2 third-round picks, Kyrie Jackson, Cooper Beebe were nice adds there, or Kyrie Jackson, Jalen McMillan were nice. I think I liked the Lions draft as well. Chop Robinson in the first, and then we went with Xavier Worthy, Christian Haynes in a trade up. Those three excellent choices for Detroit. I really like their draft as well. And the Ravens had a pretty solid one too, with Kool-Aid, Kingsley Suamataia, and Malik Washington. So that is the show for today. Thank y'all for watching. Happy draft week once again to everyone. We'll be back on Wednesday night doing our final first round mock draft of the draft season, the night before the first round. And then, of course, we'll be back on Thursday. We'll be back on Thursday as well, talking draft live. First round coverage. We'll be live streaming that, getting some analysis from a bunch of different people that should be on the show. And also, of course, next week we'll have UFL Week 6. We'll recap all your UFL Week 5 games and, of course, give you your NFL draft recap next Monday as well, giving our favorite picks from some of the teams there. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FAA Podcast on Instagram and X, FAA_bets on X as well. FAApodcast.com is our website. You can check us out here on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Thank y'all for watching, and we will see y'all back on Wednesday night.